3, 2, 1. Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to the CanUK podcast, the podcast done by fans, for fans, of everything nerdy. I am your host, Lord X, and I welcome you to the show this week. Joining me this week, first off, it's Dr. Lech.
Hi, I'm back.
How are you doing this week, Lech?
I'd rather not say on the air.
Very well then. Also joining us this week, once again, is Isreal Pacheco.
What's up, guys? How's everybody doing?
Doing good. How about
Doing
yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Good to hear. So yeah, we're back again this week, and thank God we don't have another Games of November to run through. That's behind us now. And we're into the month of November, and from the time right now, we've got 13 days left until the PS4 launches, and madness begins.
Madness.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be fun.
Yeah. Hopefully things will go smoothly on launch day, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Hopefully.
yeah,
Mm.
Sessler's wife won't have any more troubles.
Oh, man. What's funny is that when all that stuff was happening, I had no idea what was going on until they spoke about it on the podcast. And then, like, Marcus Beard did the video earlier today about Sony and all those issues or whatever. But anyway, moving on.
Yep, we do have a decent show this week, maybe one that will keep us under an hour. So let's kick things into gear with Dr. Lech. I sent you the questions earlier that we were asked last week. Did you want to answer those first?
Oh, we actually
shit.
had questions?
Yeah, we actually had questions. That was unfortunately one of the windows I closed. Give me a second.
He's not used to
I was
it.
prepping for the show. I was like, hey, I don't need this one open, don't need this one open. And guess what? I needed that one open. All right. Okay, I got them right here. I'm reading these off, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. First one is from Baby Patico.
Yeah, I think that's how it said.
What are your thoughts on YouTube and why did you start it?
Good question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for starters, I didn't start YouTube.
Mm.
I wish.
We all started YouTube. It was a masterful plan.
Unfortunately, the question mark area hasn't been filled yet. First it was start YouTube, question marks, profit. Actually, X, you want to go first since it's your show?
I answered last week, actually.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that's why I gave you the questions. You weren't here.
Oh, shit, that's right. Okay. Why did I start YouTube? Well, basically, I was just looking for an outlet. You know, I'm kind of I have a creative personality. I like, trying different things. That anything that will help stimulate myself. That sounded really bad. Creatively, there we go. Stimulate myself creatively, and going on to YouTube and seeing all these amazing videos and stuff. I felt like I could do this too. And I'm obviously not doing it for the money because I haven't earned a penny from it.
Mm.
Let's see. And the second part to the question is also any new series you're hoping to start. Yeah, there's quite a few I'd love to do. I'm currently getting props together to do a Resident Evil fan film.
Cool.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on a few more props, some makeup, and then I'll be starting working on that whenever I get the free time. That's pretty much it for that. And hopefully maybe some more video game footage, commentaries, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Daily BBS. How did you meet your friends? The ones on YouTube. Actually, that's kind of a funny story. Pretty much all my friends that I don't know in real life, like Mr. Sparta, Corey Evans, Corn Dog from Acid Unlimited, and oh my god, my roommates are gonna kill me because I can't remember their channel. Oh god, Ultra Girl, Brittany Wonder, the Riv. But everyone else that I know on YouTube, I actually met through a God,
Lech?
Did we lose him?
Are you still with us?
Yeah. I really need to get a new head.
Yeah, you do. It just
Fucker. I'm just staring at it and the light's turning on, just taunting me. So, what was the last part you guys heard before I cut out?
Nothing.
yeah. You mentioned your
Pretty much
roommates
cut
and-
out, yeah.
and it cut out.
Yeah, and it's still cutting out on me too. All right, yeah, I can't remember their channel. It's Ultra Girl Brittany Wonder. Just search that on Google. I'm sure she'll come up with some stuff. And my other roommate, the Riv. That's THE space RIV, the Riv. As for my other friends on YouTube, I've actually met them through a turn-based role-playing site called Marvels, which, as nerdy as that sound, it's a lot of fun. You know, a lot of creative writing. It'll start as a post and someone will add to it. It's, kind of like a group storytelling. That's the best way I can think of to describe it.
Mhm.
And, that's Lord X, Katazy Cat, X Archine, Rocket Raccoon. That's everybody from Marvels that's doing YouTube stuff.
And Jester.
Oh, no! He's gonna kick me in the face if you ever see. He's gonna, hey mate, see you forgot me. Boom! Off. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much all my actual friends. And here's a question from you, Isreal.
Hmm.
What is your
yeah.
from the last console generation? Honestly, my favorite game, Red Dead Redemption.
Hmm.
Good choice.
I still need to play that.
It is a good game, and it aged well. It was literally the first game when I think it's safe. No, wait, you haven't played it yet. So yeah, I can't really.
Yeah, I know the ending. I know the ending, which yeah, kind of sucks.
Yeah,
but
that ending happened. I actually had to put the controller down.
Wow.
That was like the first game because it was just like, fuck, why couldn't they just leave them alone?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those, set the controller down, walk away for a minute. I mean, when was the last time you actually became that invested in the main character?
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often in games.
No, especially that early in the, wasn't that early. It was like, 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
But still fairly early in the 360 lifespan where, there's characters that are just like, wow, that's amazing writing. I mean, now it's like every other game that comes out almost.
Mm-hmm.
With the exceptions of the hell. Where you're playing the game and you become so invested in the characters and the story that when something bad happens, you just, here comes the feels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna remember most about this last console generation, the connection that we have to the characters, because even in previous generations, I never had anything like that happen to me personally. I know some people were invested with like characters from like Final Fantasy VII and the original Metal Gear Solid, and other games, but not to the extent that we get today with like The Walking Dead, Journey, Beyond Two Souls, even the Uncharted series, which is, more action oriented, but you still care about the characters because they're so well written.
Yeah, The Last of Us, a prime example right there.
Mm.
I mean, it's just the writing is there. People are, that are making games are realizing that the writing is where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
You can have all the fancy graphics, you can have all this, that, and the other, but unless it's the soul of the story.
Mm. Exactly.
What if your story has a good soul to it, then no matter what the graphics look like, what the gameplay is like, you will be invested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, The Walking Dead is like that. The presentations, like a cell-shaded look and very simple mechanics, but it's the writing that, stands out of that game, how much you get attached to the different characters in that series. So, like, which is funny because you would think in other generations it was more about the gameplay. Like,
Yeah.
if you go back to, like, the Super Nintendo or N64, like Mario 64, that's, a very simplistic story. It was all about the gameplay, but nowadays it's about the story, which I think is great because it's like the evolution of, the medium. It's moving so fast in these last couple of years. It's really exciting moving into next gen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens next. Like, will there be a Beyond Two Souls Part 2?
Mm.
Mm.
Honestly, I hope so.
Yeah, me too.
And the next season of Walking Dead.
Oh.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
they're going to do it, but my question is, where are they going to go?
Well, it did come out this past week. They showed off a little teaser for season 2.
Yeah, it should be coming out. They said sometime this fall, right?
Yep.
Pretty soon. They didn't give a specific release date. They just showed the teaser trailer with a brief, video of Clementine. She seems older now than she was at the end of season 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm intrigued to see the excuse me, the time span between the end of season 1 and season 2 to see how much time she's been in that world. I don't want to say because there's spoilers that has to do with the game, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm just really looking forward to that. And it kind of sucks though that it's coming out now because it's not going to be in like Game of the Year discussion since it's episodic. Like the last one,
Mm-hmm.
season 1 came out, and it was throughout 2012, so people could put it Game of the Year or whatever. This one's going to be like some of it in 2013 and most of it in 2014.
Yeah.
They still might, though, since the majority of it will be out in 2014.
Yeah, that's true.
We shall see.
Indeed. Oh, we've seemed to get a little bit off topic there, but let's dive back in a little bit. Let's go into our first segment this week, or our second one, sorry. And that's Prepping for Next Gen, Part 3, Our Hopes and Dreams. Over the past 2 weeks, we've been taking a look back at our favorite stuff and whatnot. But this week, we're going to look ahead. We're going to look ahead at the PS4, the Xbox One, even the Wii U and the PC. And kind of have a little talk here about what we're hoping to see will happen in the next generation of consoles, be it features and games. So, who would like to kick it off here?
Well, since he hasn't been here, Isreal,
Yeah, sure.
throw you under the bus first.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about this too in depth because I just want to discuss things with you guys and go back and forth and see what do you guys think. But there's things that I would like to see change, but I know there's not going to be change, like how DLC's handled, specifically before a game's even released. We already know there's going to be a season pass. There's going to be, outlined of what's going to come down months ahead. So already day one, you're thinking you're receiving a product it's not a full product.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really, it's kind of a turnoff. I'm not too big into DLC, honestly. Like, for example, I'm a fan of Assassin's Creed games. I don't think I've played any other DLC. I haven't played, 3 and 4 yet, because I've been catching up on the series, but I think I played maybe one of the DLCs way back on Assassin's Creed 2, because I just feel like once I'm done with the game, there's so many options nowadays. I could just move on to the next one. You know what I mean? I'd rather play a brand new experience instead of just adding content to something that I already really enjoyed. For example, another example would be Halo 4. I got like the collector's edition that came with the season pass. I never downloaded any of the DLC because I just got sidetracked with other games. And I really, bless you, man. I really enjoyed Halo 4. It was one of my favorite games last year, but I just never jumped into online. So what do you guys think about how DLC's handled moving into next gen?
Personally, it really depends on the game. Like, if it's a first-person shooter, then DLC makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you get different map packs to help keep the game fresh till the next installment comes out. But for adventure games, like you were saying with the Assassin's Creed or Uncharted, do you really need to continue the DLC with that?
Yeah, not really, no.
No.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you beat the game and it says, you know, only 89% complete.
Yeah, that's a good point. You could always go back and get all the unlockables and all the side quests and things like that.
Yeah. But then there's the games where you do all that and it still doesn't give you 100% because there's pending DLC for it.
That's true, especially when it comes to like trophies and achievements.
Yeah. I know for some people that's a big thing.
Yeah.
You won't name any names here, but
no names. But you know, seriously, like as good as the game as it was, even though it was just a knockoff of Uncharted, you know, the latest Tomb Raider, does that really need DLC?
It just had multiplayer DLC, right? It didn't have any story.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. Games that, you know, they shoehorn in some type of multiplayer function, I think that's going to keep occurring. But I hope developers realize that they shouldn't invest all that time in creating something like a whole full multiplayer and then nobody plays it. How many times has that happened over the last couple years? They've released something that has a multiplayer, component to it, and then people just don't play it. I personally didn't play the Tomb Raider multiplayer, and that's because I consider that game to be, you know, single player oriented.
Yeah.
And I probably could have, you know, tried it out, but like I was saying, there's so many options nowadays that to really invest into like a multiplayer, you really have to spend a lot of time. It's not something, I know some people, they just pick it up and play every now and then, but for me, if I really want to get invested and get good, because there's some people out there that are amazing at multiplayer. They just play it nonstop. And that goes for, you know, shooters and especially fighting games. That's ridiculous when you jump online in those games.
Some guy that like knows every single secret combo to the character.
Yeah, exactly. And it you know, it kind of turns you off from that. So I'm not like a multiplayer gamer. Like, it's funny because I was at like the beginning of this console generation. Because my buddy, he also had an Xbox 360, but then he switched over to PS3. You know, the PS3 doesn't have the same online infrastructure as the Xbox. So I kind of stopped playing multiplayer games really towards the latter half of this generation. I still play like Call of Duty, but it wasn't like a social aspect to it. Like, oh, yo, man, let's jump in and let's play through Resident Evil 5 co-op or something like that, or some Left 4 Dead like we used to. So... Maybe it's just me. I know a lot of people really enjoy the multiplayer games, and I'm trying to get back into it, like moving into this generation and give some games a shot. But there's so many options.
Yeah. I mean, you have the good multiplayer, and then you have the really bad one. Like, I hate to do this, but you know, Call of Duty has become very with its multiplayer.
But they're getting aliens now.
Yeah, it's more of the same. It's, you know, incremental refinements that they add. And I'm just not into Call of Duty this year. I was last year. I really enjoyed Black Ops 2 because I really enjoyed the story. Then I jumped on multiplayer, and it was the first game that I actually prestiged in from the Call of Duty franchise because I never got into it that much. But once I prestiged it, I was like, okay, I'm good. And then just stopped playing the multiplayer. I didn't see a point in to continue it. Like,
yeah, do you really need that little badge next to your name?
yeah, like my brother, he's completely different because he has that whole social experience. Like everybody in his high school has an Xbox 360. They all, they play online over the weekends and during the week. They got the headsets, they're chatting. They have that social experience. So I got to understand why he plays it constantly. Like that's one of those games that he plays like almost every day. Like he plays other things like the Assassin's Creed series and the Batman games, etc. But I guess it's the social aspect to it. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Can completely understand that.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think something that I'd like to see next generation. Kind of had it and I lost my train of thought for a second. But it had something to do with games, sort of like the online thing. I guess games becoming very online centric. I think that would be, a continuation of what we've been talking about. There seems to be a lot of games that are like MMO shooters. Like you got Destiny coming and
the Division.
Yeah, the Division, exactly. And Titanfall is not really an MMO, but it's more of an online centric game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just not for me. I could understand why it's becoming increasingly popular, but it'll kind of be strange for me because I am interested in Destiny, especially since I'm a Halo fan, jumping into that game and just having all these characters and you're like, what do I do? Do I play like by myself? Do I play with some buddies? Like it's kind of, there's so many options and it kind of drives me nuts. It's sort of like an open world game where you have so many things you could do and then you end up doing nothing because you're just like oversaturated by like, information overload. But yeah, so and then the second part of the question, which is games we will want to finally happen on the PS4. It's kind of beating a dead horse. Shenmue 3, of course. But I think that boat has sailed, honestly. I think the best time that they could have done Shenmue would have been this last console generation, especially towards the end, where development might have been cheaper for them if they would have used something like the Yakuza engine, that series on the PlayStation, which Sega does own. They could have probably done something with that. So I don't think we're going to see Shenmue 3 next gen. What other franchise would I like to see return? Maybe like a proper Crash Bandicoot, but I guess Sony no longer owns that. It's owned by, I guess, Vivendi Universal, and I don't think we're ever going to see Naughty Dog ever tackle that.
Aren't they owned by Disney? Vivendi Universal?
I don't know.
Or am I thinking of Bandai?
Not sure.
I'm not sure.
I think I'm thinking of Bandai. Yeah. Never mind.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of something that we haven't seen in a long time. But it seems like we're seeing so many sequels nowadays that usually the games that you enjoy, they usually get some sort of sequel, some sort of continuation. And then there's some games that you just don't want to see a sequel to, like Journey. Like Journey was an amazing experience, but I would never want them to try to redo that. Like it was just special because it's like some films. Like you watch a film, you're like, okay, they did one movie, it's great. Leave it at there. Don't ruin it with making a sequel. But yeah, I can't think off the top of my head anything else really that I'd like to see. So I'll hand it over to you guys.
Well, as far as game sequels go, we are getting a couple that I've been waiting for, one of which is a new Star Wars Battlefront.
That's true.
Yeah.
And well, the rumors going around that we'll be getting a new Persona game on the way.
What? A new Persona game? I mean, there's only like, what, 50 now?
There have been 4.
Yeah, and then the various...
Well, I'm also counting the spin-offs and, the whole Persona universe.
Oh, well, you mean Shin Megami Tensei in general?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, yeah. But key Persona.
Okay.
What else haven't we seen in a while? Probably a new X-Men Legends game would be nice.
Mm.
Yeah.
I know Lech is looking forward to X-Men Destiny 2.
Mm.
If it's done correctly, using the full extent of the machine it's on, then yes, I will be happy.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like that last Abomination.
All Silicon Knights have gone to bed, so I don't think...
Yay!
Well, as far as Nintendo and the Wii U goes, I would want to see the return of Star Fox or F-Zero.
Oh, I didn't even think about Nintendo. We could be here all day talking about franchises we would like to see Nintendo return to. Jeez.
Yeah.
Star Fox. Yeah, definitely Star Fox. I don't know. I kind of understand why they haven't done these series because they don't sell well. Even though there's a hardcore Nintendo audience that really likes the Metroid series. I'm one of them. I enjoy those games. Even my dog's name is Samus, my little Chihuahua. So I'm a fan of the Metroid series, and but I could understand from a business standpoint, they don't sell very well. They sell maybe under 1 million copies or around 1 million copies. I know the Prime games sold around that each. The first one being the best selling, and then like the Game Boy Advance one, they sold well, but not to the standard of a Mario or a Zelda. But they do have a lot of franchises, and I kind of would like them to see the way that they do these mini game collections like Nintendo Land, where Nintendo Land, for example, it was pretty much rip-offs of their different licenses and their different IPs. Why not take like 2 games that we haven't seen in a while, like a F-Zero or a Wave Race, and bundle them together into one package? That way they would more likely sell better because you have 2 games in one, like sort of, try different things. I think Nintendo could try something like that, or some mini game collection that has like several games built into it, and maybe they're each like 5 to 10 hours long. They aren't ridiculously long, but at least we get something out of that because there's a lot of franchises Nintendo hasn't gone back to, and it seems like they just keep doing the whole Mario, Zelda
Because
formula.
they're proven moneymakers.
Yeah, which back to business, and that's what makes money. And I'm hoping they kind of switch things up with the next Zelda on the Wii U and try to do something different. In terms of scale, I would like to see like a huge world that we could explore that's massive, and I don't know, something on the scale of Skyrim, for example, would be great, but that would be interesting. But yeah, Nintendo seems to be one of those companies that they just don't go back to certain franchises if they don't sell well. Because I can understand from a business standpoint, but at least there's a market, especially if they do some type of compilation. But
Yep.
Now, there was one game Nintendo did way back when on the NES that it sold really well. It was fun to play. It has a lot of fans even to this day, and that's Zombies Ate My Neighbor.
Oh, yes.
that's true.
I would love to see a sequel to that,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it's as silly and campy as the first one was.
Yeah,
it was a great game.
Yeah.
It was a great little game.
I think that would work as a downloadable game too. Like maybe they don't have to have the biggest budget, but maybe like a $15, $20 downloadable game. Like that style of game works for that market because it's very easy to pick up and play. It isn't something that needs like a elaborate story or anything like that. So it's very gameplay focused. I think they could do that. Something on the eShop. Yeah.
Monsters are real and they're trying to eat my neighbors. I have to stop them with my squirt gun.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
I mean, it's not like it was really gory or anything either. I mean, it was good, clean fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. Features. This is kind of a personal thing with me since I do a lot of online gaming, especially with first-person shooters. Especially in the Xbox Live community, I've heard I've experienced it. It's really bad there. For the next generation, they really need to get admins to help
I
monitor.
agree with that. Yeah, I
To
do
help
agree with
start
that.
monitoring the user base, because I'm sorry, one of the videos out there that pisses me off the most is an Xbox admin getting told off by a 12-year-old who's just like
Yeah,
flipping out, threatening to rape his grandmother and all that and kill him, and you know that's I'm just like, really? And everyone's like, oh yeah, he really showed the admin.
yeah, I think it's gotten ridiculous online. Like
Mhm.
when I play online games, I don't even use a headset because I gotta understand trash talking, especially with your buddies talking shit and just
Yeah,
just messing around. But then when it gets to the point that the people start being like sexist and racist and homophobic and
especially racist. God.
yeah, it's like, come on, like what? There needs to be, some people looking over that. And I could understand there's millions and millions of users and maybe they don't have the infrastructure to have a lot of people do something like that. But just, I know people use the term ban hammer like in a negative context, but just
It,
ban those people. After one
yeah,
offense, they're done. Like you could never return online. And then people, that, sorry, you missed out. You didn't read the rules and regulations that you can't use like this type of profanity or whatever. Um, and then just maybe that'll stop it. But I don't
right
know.
now it's like it's like children when the parents are away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
going crazy out there, and it really needs to stop because it's giving gamers in general a bad rep.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, it is. It's like if everybody's immature. Like back to what I was saying, of course, you could talk shit and whatever, but when it gets to the point that you become extremely offensive to other people, because it's one thing you're talking with your buddies and you know them and you're just messing
Yeah,
around, but there's another thing, people you completely have no idea who the hell they are. It's just, I don't know who these people are, and you're cursing them out and calling them names. It's just stupid. Like
it is.
it's like when it comes down to it, it's a game. Like relax, you're supposed to be having fun. If you don't like it, then get out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That and well, plus another thing, it's more on the community itself that no one does anything about it.
Mm.
Hmm.
You know, like for example, if there's someone, you know, if you're in like a loading screen for Call of Duty, when I was playing Modern Warfare 3, this happened a lot. You know, someone would just be constantly just berating someone on the other team in the loading screen because, you know, you can talk to the other team and
Hmm.
no one does anything.
Yeah, they just sit there
They just sit
and
there
they're
and
like,
let them do it.
yeah, it's strange because I remember back in the PS2 era, like my first online experience was with SOCOM. And I just remember I was amazed that I was playing with people in like Thailand and I would just be talking to them like being like really nice, just having a conversation. It wasn't like, hey, whatever.
Hmm.
But you're just having a conversation because you were amazed that you were interacting with somebody who's halfway around the world.
Yeah.
Now it's like just telling screw you, like fuck off and all this stuff. Like I think parents should really monitor what their kids are
Oh
doing,
God,
and sadly,
yes.
they're not doing that.
Hmm.
And then when they receive a complaint from like a potential admin, they're like, "Oh, my child would never do that," and then they get all defensive, like their child is
Innocent.
innocent. Yeah, exactly, and that annoys me even more. That the parents aren't looking into what their kids are playing, and they don't understand that's rated M for a reason. Like I could
Yeah.
understand if you let your kids play games that are rated M, because I did. I played GTA 3 when I was 11, 12 years old, but I knew the difference between right and wrong, reality versus fiction. And
Mhm.
still, when I interact with people, I'm a nice guy. I don't try to be an asshole. But there's these kids nowadays that pretty much the Xbox is like their babysitter, like their parents that they're halfway across the house, like they don't want to do anything with their kids,
Hmm.
and then what do you expect? Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Um, and the next thing I would love to see, this is along the same lines, is modded controllers.
Mm.
I am sick of modded controllers For those of you who don't know, a modded controller is a controller where you can pretty much, it's been pre-programmed that one button will do 4 different things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's annoying when you're playing a first-person shooter. It happens a lot in Call of Duty. I've noticed it happening in Battlefield 3. You'll be fighting someone, they're shooting you, and they do 4 different things all at once while they're shooting you.
Mm-hmm.
They're reloading, they're dropping, they're quick scoping you. It's all at the push of a button. And
Yeah.
auto lock too. That's another feature that some of the controllers have is auto lock.
Yeah.
It's hard
annoying.
to.
Yeah.
It is so hard to say. Yes, I'm playing just for fun, but where's the fun when you're getting hit the moment you spawn?
Yeah.
The moment you become right around a corner.
It's annoying. Like it really is. I've had those. I've ran into people like that playing Call of Duty, and I know a store actually near me that sells those damn controllers. And it's just not fair. Like these people, why play a game if you're gonna cheat? Like
Yeah, and those controllers aren't cheap either.
yeah, exactly. And it's usually just a local person that does it. It isn't like a third party company. It's just people who get the controllers and just mod them and do all these configurations of the buttons and.
Well, there's this one company I saw out of Thailand. They're like $150 a controller.
Oh damn.
Jesus.
Yeah. And I was just like, why would you spend that much money for a game you only spent $50 on?
Mm.
Yeah,
Or
and
if you bought it
especially
used $20 on, you know?
yeah, and especially if you're gonna cheat, like why why would you spend all that money just to cheat? I guess just to piss everybody off, essentially, and just laugh at them, I guess. But you're the dumbass who paid $150 to get that
Yeah.
controller. Like, okay, I'll move on to the next game.
I'll just go to a different lobby.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to, in the next gen, I would love to see it, if it's a modded controller or a third-party controller, it will not be recognized.
Yeah. That'll probably be the best way to like do it, because then they would have to go into the hardware itself and go into modding the hardware,
Mm-hmm.
not only modding the controller.
Yeah, I mean, I know Xbox for a while there, they were actually cracking down on the, the jailbroke Xboxes that were out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They were cracking down on that, but that didn't last too long.
Nope, because they always find a way to just jailbreak it one step further.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I would like to see.
Mm.
Very good.
Some structure, damn it. Some rules. I want to be in the box. I like the box.
I just remembered the last thing that I was going to bring up, and that is the whole day one patch. Which I know you guys are going to have a lot to say about that, because it's getting ridiculous. Like, developers are getting extremely lazy, and I'm going to talk about that later on in, like, the games that we've played section
Mm-hmm.
about an experience that I had with one game. But it's just ridiculous. Like, I can understand they want to release and they're like, oh, it has to come within this point of our fiscal year and we have to sell this many copies. But they're just releasing things that are completely broken at this point and have extreme issues. And now we're seeing that going into next gen with the day one patches for both consoles, which is, it's not surprising. Because even if you buy like a iOS device, usually the first thing you have to do is do an update for it when it comes out the box. Like you get an iPhone, you get an iPad. Even when you get a laptop, PC, you have to do updates for it. So I'm not too bothered for doing that. But what really annoys me is the day one patches for the games. And why buy a game right away, I guess, when you could just wait even a month and then it'll be $40, $20 cheaper, and you'll get the best experience. Like, I remember when GTA 5 was coming out, I was excited to try the online, even if, in previous games like GTA 4, I really didn't play the online. Just because it looked cool, it looks like something neat, and then it dropped, and then it was just broken. They fixed it, a week or two later. And by then I was on to the next game. I was like, fuck this. Like I never jumped in because I had a feeling it wasn't going to work, and then I heard everybody complaining about it, and then I was just like, I'm not going to waste my time. Like all those people that lost progress and they had those characters that they spent hours, playing the game, then you just lose that progress or lose a save file or the game just glitches and you have to reset your console. Like that's just annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So angry.
Yep. Yeah, having better or none day one patches would be nice.
Mm-hmm. I could understand they have them for minor things,
Mm-hmm.
like performance things and make things run smoother, but when it's like things are completely missing that should have been there in the first place. And
Yeah, 20-minute download and then
Yeah.
reinstall. Yeah, that's, like you said, they're releasing an incomplete game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so annoying. And I think one of the worst, examples that I've heard recently, which kind of turned me off from buying the game, was Killzone Mercenary on the Vita. That you get the game and you have to download like a 2 gig fucking update file. Like what the hell? Like
2
those.
gig? That's a game file right there.
Yeah, especially on the Vita, it's like I think it's around 2 gigs when you do all the updates and you need all the space on your memory card. Like.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? Shouldn't they just waited and like just fixed it and then maybe release the Vita version like early next year or something? Delayed it? Like that's just annoying when you need that much space.
Yep.
I just don't know.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, I guess that does it for our prepping for next gen segment. We might have one more next week because next podcast will be the last one before the PS4 release.
Yeah, that's true.
So, all right. Well, with that done, let's move on to our news stories of this week.
Yay!
Yippee!
All righty then. Lech, why don't you kick us off this week?
Oh, I had a feeling you were going to do that. I had a feeling, but I still wasn't ready yet. I'm actually trying to read through it real quick before I actually read it. Shush. Ben Kingsley's secret Marvel project revealed. Last week, Ben Kingsley talked about a secret Marvel project he was working on, telling the Belfast Telegraph. Is that really a news thing?
The Belfast Telegraph. Sounds like from 1900. Like what the hell?
Beep, 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 beep. That the mysterious
Telegraph,
shoot
yeah?
involved many of the Iron Man 3 crew. Well, Latino review... Really? A Latino review? I'm sorry. Latino reckons that he got the skinny on the project, though you haven't seen Iron Man 3 and involves some plot points from the movie, so... Because, well, no, Ben Kingsley played actor Trevor Slately in Iron Man 3. Spoilers! Rather than the villain himself. According to Latino Review, the secret project is a Marvel one-shot in which the real Mandarin is, furious with Aldrich Killian and Ben Kingsley character Trevor Slately for the mockery they made of the real Mandarin's identity and legacy. The real Mandarin wants to set the record straight. Ooh.
Yeah. So, two little things about this one. One, very nice.
Yes.
Really hope this happens. And secondly, this is probably Marvel just going, oh, fuck, we fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, after recently watching Iron Man 3, I kind of liked how they did the Mandarin.
I did too, but,
It made sense, realistically.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But then with this reveal of the real Mandarin showing up, just bitch slapping people,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
be like, what the fuck are you guys doing over here? Yes, this week the Mandarin will be played by Al Pesci. Hey, you, come here, chucklehead. Is this funny? Huh? What's all this shit? Where are my rings? Sorry.
Yeah, this is interesting how they're gonna handle this. Because doing a one shot, this will be a film. Would this just be straight to DVD, or would this actually come out in theaters? Or are they gonna?
It would be attached to one of their DVDs. You know, like how the Peggy Carter short was on the Iron Man 3 one. How, was it on the Captain America DVD? Yeah, I think it was the Agent Coulson one-shot.
Mm-hmm.
And on the Avengers, they had the Item 47 one-shot. So everything tying together like that.
Yeah, so if
Which
they
is
release
good
this,
because
as,
it gets the fans more into it. It gives you a reason to watch those extra features.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an added bonus for the DVD or Blu-ray.
Yeah.
what would be the next release from Marvel on Blu-ray? Would it be,
That would be
Thor's just
Thor.
coming out, right? Yeah.
Oh, looks good.
Yeah, it would be Thor would be the next Blu-ray release. So yeah, it would probably be on that one.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. And Thor is out in about 7 days. Just saying. Or sooner than that, actually. 5 days.
Yeah. Well, it depends on when you get the podcast up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like this.
Mm-hmm.
Then I just liked his character from the movie. I thought it was great. Well, I had a bit of a drug problem, and they came to me. What, they offered to get you off? No, they gave me more. Oh, I almost fell out of my chair when I heard that line. Because it's such a realistic answer, you know?
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, let's move on to our next story. Israel, do you want to take it away?
Sure. The next story we have here is EA is canceling the next Command and Conquer and closing the studio behind it. So I guess without the studio's okay either. So they just said, hey, we're shutting you guys down. This game's not coming out. I believe it was supposed to be a free-to-play game, was it?
Yep.
Am I not mistaken? Yep. It's supposed to be a free-to-play game that was coming out pretty soon, and they were going to add some campaign content to it, some multiplayer functions, and then it just came out and canceled it. I don't know why. Maybe they're restructuring the company somehow and moving the money that they were going to use for this, so some next-gen development or something. I don't know. It kind of seems strange that they would just outright close the company and cancel the project.
Yeah, that doesn't really make much sense. I mean, the Command & Conquer series has always been kind of a popular series, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was always one of my favorite, real-time strategy games.
Yeah, it's big with the PC crowd too, so I wouldn't understand if I could understand they might have brought it to next-gen consoles, but at least bring it to PC still, and I don't know. It's just strange.
They might just be doing it for a tax write-off too.
That's true.
Yep. No, last I saw of that Command and Conquer game, it wasn't looking that good anyway.
That happens when you cut resources.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty then. Speaking of things not looking that good, it was announced this past week that Titanfall is an Xbox One, 360, and PC exclusive for its lifetime. However, further installments into the series will make their way onto other platforms. So no Titanfall for the PS4 and Wii U.
I'm sorry. As a customer, I don't understand why they would purposely not come out with a version for each platform out there.
Microsoft. Because apparently they paid for the exclusive rights. Because they have nothing else.
What I find strange about this story is the way they worded it, like saying it's exclusive for its lifetime. So what the fuck does that mean? Like,
Yeah.
can't they just say it's not coming to PS4. Like, can't they just be direct?
Yeah.
They have to spin some marketing BS.
Mm-hmm.
Because this kind of reminds me of other games that eventually came to the PlayStation 3,
Mm-hmm.
like the original Mass Effect,
Yeah.
the original BioShock. Like, both of those were Xbox exclusives and PC exclusives for their lifetime. So what does lifetime mean? Like 2 years, 3 years down the line, we might see these come to the console like with an enhanced version, like a Game of the Year edition or some type of compilation. Like, I'm kind of getting sick of how these companies are answering their fans, especially something like this, which is a big title that's coming out in March for the Xbox One, PC, 360. But why can't they just say, okay, it's not coming to the PlayStation 4? They're not, it's going to be exclusive for its lifetime. So that pretty much leaves it like ambiguous to how long is a lifetime, and it's just silly. I just think they should just be upfront and say, hey, it's not coming to PlayStation 4. Like, that's it. And yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I remember. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. What I was going to say was, what I found a bit funny was, I think it came out that, like, Respawn didn't exactly know about this. This was like an EA deal with Microsoft that allowed this to happen.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that. Like, it seems like Respawn, they knew, like as a tweet says here from Vince Zampella from Respawn, that it was going to be exclusive to the console at launch, right? So they have it the exclusive for a couple months, which makes sense, but then EA made some sort of deal that it's going to be exclusive for its lifetime. However the hell that means, it's, I don't know. And like you were saying, Dr. Lech, like, it makes no sense that they would not bring this to the PlayStation 4 when they could just sell more units, especially for a third-party company. It just, I don't understand it.
Yeah, because, as I was getting ready to say, I remember way back when a console would brag about, oh yes, if you want this game, it's exclusively on our, it's our brand. Like Nintendo did that back in the day, Sega did that, TurboGrafx, all of them used to do that.
Yeah.
Now it's just like no one wants to say that anymore.
No.
Yeah, they just want to dance around the question.
Yeah. It's kind of infuriating, that they think that little of their, market.
Yep.
Or not market. You know what I'm getting at.
Yeah, they're consumers.
Consumers, thank you. Me words not good sometimes.
Yeah, the game, I still haven't been impressed by it, honestly. Maybe it's something that you have to play to really, get it, I guess, because everybody in the press has been raving about it ever since E3. They're like, oh, Titanfall's the next thing, and I'm sure it will be, a quality title, but an industry that always complains about sequels and because of course this is going to become, one of those franchises that they're going to milk the hell out of it. We already know that.
Yeah.
So a company, not a company, but an industry that's always complaining, oh, sequelitis, we want new IP, but new IP eventually becomes, sequels down the line, and they're like, oh, we need new type of games, and the shooters are the ones that are making all the money, and there's always people complaining across the industry that it's more the same. Here comes a shooter that has, a mech and, some parkouring, and it's...
Parkour.
Yeah, parkour, and it's really not that original, and it doesn't even have any story elements as from what I see. It's more of, exclusively
Action.
online type of thing. It's more, action oriented, and that does nothing for me. And especially in the discussion that we were having earlier about games being so narrative focused these last couple years, I'm sure it'll be fun, and there is a market there for games that are, very gameplay focused, but it's kind of hypocritical that all these sites are praising this game so much, and then they complain that we're always, plagued by shooters.
Yeah.
And what are they promoting on their front page? Shooters.
Yeah.
But on the same hand, I can't take a lot of these sites seriously
Yeah,
either,
that's true.
because honestly, they don't have a lot of integrity because they're taking money, whether it
Yeah,
be,
ad revenue, yeah.
underneath the table or gifts from the developer.
Mm-hmm.
A free trip out to see the game and play the game for 10 hours with nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's true. You got a point because, and that's another issue that I have with like this industry. Like they send them these press kits and all this nice swag. Like, why do you need that to review a game?
Yeah.
Like, you don't really need that stuff. Why don't those press kits, you actually sell them as like collector's editions for the fans that want to buy them instead of giving them to the press as like an incentive to, hey, let me buy this. And what I've noticed too is that a game like Call of Duty, these sites are scared to give it a low score.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they're like, oh, we didn't get a 9.0 or higher or 8.5 or 8.0 or whatever, then they don't see, the revenue from promoting that game or whatever. It's kind of strange. And I gotta understand because Call of Duty's huge, but I don't know. There's some fishy shit going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, when I look at Titanfall, the only thing I think of, honestly, is a polished version of Earth Defense Force. I'm serious. Just throwing some giant bugs and there you go.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same game. You're running around with a gun. You're taking out giant robots. You're taking over giant robots to fight more giant robots. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's fun as hell.
Yeah.
And I'll find out eventually. No, I won't because it's going to be on Xbox, isn't it?
For its lifetime.
Yeah, so I'll never play it.
Probably Titanfall 2. Or I don't know if you guys saw this. Jim Sterling put out a video like the top 10 reasons why
Oh, yeah.
like PlayStation 4 is better or whatever. And he had Titanfall.
Yeah.
Which is Jack Tretton from Sony. I started crying. Like, it was so funny. It's like the PlayStation 4 has Titanfall with Jack Tretton from Sony America. I was fucking crying. It was so
Killing
damn funny.
Nazis.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And vultures.
It was so, you have to look that up on YouTube. Like, I was crying, but yeah, not that we're like being extremely down on this game. Of course, it'll probably be really fun, especially with the studio of Call of Duty. Like, I'm a fan of the series, even if I'm, not looking forward to the latest one. It has, solid mechanics, but I just find it kind of hypocritical of the industry, like, supporting this so much instead of supporting, like, more obscure things. But
like when Madden comes out, everyone's like, oh, it's the best Madden game yet.
Exactly.
I just want to see a review for Madden that's like, Madden, same as last year. Review
Same
script.
shit.
Oh, except for
5.0.
you could do a new end zone dance.
All right, well, we're kind of getting off track here again.
Oh,
So
yeah.
let's dive back to the next news story, which is much more happier. Lech.
The Witcher 3 PC has absolutely no DRM. What's DRM again?
Digital rights management, is it?
Digital, which means we're going to see a lot of Let's Plays of it.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of pirated versions.
Lots of pirated versions. CD Projekt Red has announced that the PC version of Witcher 3 Wild Hunt will have absolutely no DRM. An open letter from co-founder and joint CEO Michael Lewitsky? Okay, sure. Explains that the developer has decided against using DRM thanks to past experiences. I'm going to skip reading the letter. Well, maybe I should read the letter. Damn it. Following our recent announcement of distribution details for Witcher 3 in North America and Europe, there has been some concerns regarding DRM and previous legal issues within Witcher 2. We've seen lots of comments in various places around the web, and we would like to join in on the conversation. I'd like to say it loud and clear, the PC version of Witcher 3 will have absolutely no DRM from day zero.
For its lifetime.
It doesn't from its lifetime. Paraphrasing now. It doesn't matter if you choose to buy the GOG.com and support us directly, or buy our game in possible. Damn it, what the hell am I doing?
Sweet ass GOG.
GOG. GOG.com. GOG.
Good old game.
We'll still get 100% DRM free experience that goes over the whole world. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so like X summed it up perfectly. There's going to be a lot of Let's Plays,
But
a lot
hey,
of walkthroughs, and a lot of pirated copies.
but hey, in a world where DRM is being forced down our throats, it's nice that one developer is like, no.
Yeah, I think this is a good move because if there was DRM, there's still people who are going to override that and pirate it somehow. So to make it easier for those people who are actually paying for the game, I think it's good. So it, you know,
Well,
you don't have to go through those hoops of like being constantly online and all those things that we've seen in other games recently, especially on the PC.
Oh.
And besides, on the PC version, you're going to have to need one hell of a computer in order to run this game, by the looks of things.
This is coming to consoles, right? Is it coming to PS4?
Yep.
PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Okay, I've never played any of the Witcher games. I've always been intrigued by them, but I've just never gotten one for whatever reason.
I've heard good stuff about it.
I've played some of the second one. I did a few videos onto it ways back. But yeah, it's a good series. I never finished that one, though.
As for the DRM, I mean, some of it gets kind of ridiculous. Matter of fact, a friend of ours, JesterCarr, he kind of got in trouble because of DRM on one of his videos. He was playing Saints, Jester?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was playing Saints Row 4, or 5, excuse me, Saints Row 5, and one of the songs...
Wait. Saints Row 5?
Yeah, that's the new one, right?
Saints Row 4. You're thinking GTA 5.
I guess I am. I'm tired. Piss off. I'm old. Well, he was playing Saints Row, and he was on a mission, and he had the radio on in the car, and one of the songs that was playing on the radio got his video flagged.
Well, that's
Even though he wasn't directly using the song itself.
Was it a licensed song? Because I could understand why they would pull it then. Because if it's like, I don't know, like a Lil Wayne song.
It was being played in the game, though. Which means someone had to watch the video.
And complain.
And complain, yeah.
Yeah, I can almost understand that one, though, because it is the rights of the song owners. Because that's why you see a lot of, like, big-name Let's Players, when they do something like GTA or Saints Row, they have the music station turned off for that reason.
And that's why you don't see any, like, Let's Plays of, like, Rock Band.
Yeah.
Or, like, DJ Hero or something like that. Which
that would be really amusing if they had the music turned off and we're just Let's Play of it.
Look at my button presses. Yeah.
Yeah, all you hear is the fucking controller click, 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 click.
Yeah, I would like to see people do Let's Plays of that because it'd be kind of fun so you could see like their skill level. But then if it had no music, there'd be no point because it's a music rhythm game. Like, yeah.
Oh, dear Lord. All right, Isreal, why don't you take the next story?
South Park: The Stick of Truth has been delayed again. So, originally scheduled to be released this December, South Park: Stick of Truth has now been pushed back to March 4th, 2014 in North America and March 6th, 2014 in Europe. What the hell is going on with this game? It was supposed to come out March of this year, then they pushed it back to December, and now it's March of next year. And I am getting really worried about this. And I actually saw the gameplay footage which they released alongside the press release that they were delaying the game. I'm not really that impressed with it, honestly. And I'm not a fan of RPGs, so maybe that's what it is. Maybe if they would have went a more action RPG route, I would enjoy it more, but it's turn-based.
You see,
I don't know what's going on with this game.
Yeah, I really like the style they're going with because I love turn-based RPGs. Like,
Mhm.
Final Fantasy IX was probably the last and best turn-based RPG, and I really want to see that style come back in more games. But, yeah, as soon as that announcement came out last night, I canceled my pre-order for the game because I am sick of this happening right now, and I'm just going
Yeah.
to wait for reviews first before I buy it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
When
I trust Obsidian to do a great game, and since Trey and, what's his name?
Matt.
Matt, yes, are writing the game as well, like, I'm
Mm.
really interested in it, but, yeah, just, I couldn't do it any longer. It's like,
yeah,
no, get
it
your
kind of
shit
lost
together.
its luster for me. Maybe that's why. Maybe the gameplay footage has been tarnished for me because it's lost its luster at this point.
hmm
I guess maybe it's not that the gameplay is necessarily bad.
hmm
It's just we keep getting delays and pushed back. And one thing I wanted to add was, do you guys think this might be coming to next gen? Because pushing it back to March of next year will be, a couple months into the next gen cycle by then. So they could
Yeah.
possibly be bringing this over to Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
True, true.
And that's what I'm seeing. There's a lot of games that are getting delayed, and it seems like they're, I guess, porting it to next gen. I don't know. And I'm a big fan of South Park, and I was really excited, especially when I heard Matt and Trey were behind, the story elements of this, and I just kind of lost interest in it. I really did.
I mean, I really can't blame you. I mean, we've been hearing about this game for how many years now?
Probably when did they originally announce it?
Uh,
Sometime in 2011.
I think so, yeah. So 2 years we've been waiting on this now.
Yeah, and it's not like the animation is going to be that difficult. I mean,
Mm,
they crank out new episodes of South Park in a few days.
yep.
So, I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe they are just waiting for the next gen
Yeah,
to come along.
I'm disappointed because we've truly never seen a great South Park game. Honestly, like this is the
Oh,
one.
come on, Chef's Love Shack. That was great.
No,
Well,
I got to go with the kart racing. That
we
was my
had
favorite.
we had the kart racer. We had Chef's Love Shack, which was the game show, right, type of game. Then we had the South Park game, which I know is terrible. I actually like that game on PlayStation, even if it's terrible. I hear the turkeys everywhere and throwing snowballs. It's extremely stupid, but it's one of those bad games that I just enjoyed because I was so into South Park at the time. But yeah, this seemed like it was going to be a great, at least let's not say great, but at least a good entry into the South Park franchise in terms of the games. And we've seen a lot of shakeups, especially after it went from being THQ to Ubisoft, and what's going to happen to it next.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, speaking of Ubisoft, a bit of good news that came out from them this past week.
Hmm.
Ubisoft is killing the online pass system effective immediately. About
So
goddamn
That is
time.
good. What's
oh,
funny is that I walked over to my brother's room because he had rented Assassin's Creed 4 from GameFly. I
Mhm.
was like, hey, you know that if you don't have this, not the season pass, but the online pass, you can't board certain ships and take them over. There were some things, hidden behind the online pass for single player, which was kind of bullshit in my opinion.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then 5 minutes later, I walk back and I'm like, oh, never mind, because this new stuff, like literally, it was like 5 minutes later. I get on my computer, I come back, and I'm like, never mind, they killed the online pass. So and I told him just go to Xbox Live Marketplace and download it, and you'll be able to access the features. So, which is good. They acted so fast because
Mhm.
Assassin's Creed 4 just came out on 360 PS3 this past week. So for them to have that rapid turnover was great because it
Mhm.
was like a day or two after it was released. I think this is excellent. I hope more publishers do this moving into next gen.
Yeah.
Just get rid of that garbage online
Yeah.
pass.
Yep.
Good.
Well,
really is dated and ridiculous at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, we know we're not going to get it from EA. They've killed theirs a while back. Ubisoft now has killed theirs. Sony has stated that they're not doing the online pass anymore.
Yep.
So, yeah, not many others would be doing it, because that's kind of the big three right there.
Yeah, because I remember Mortal Kombat, like the reboot had an online pass, but Injustice didn't, right?
Yeah, it didn't have one, because I opened up the book, the case, and was like, huh, where's the online pass to? Okay.
Yeah, I guess, and I never truly minded it because I usually bought my games, new, but it's still just annoying, especially if you want to try out a game, just like from Redbox or GameFly, and you want to try out all the features. And
yeah, or if you borrow it from a friend or something.
Yeah, exactly. You borrow
or
it
if
from
you
a
buy
buddy.
a used copy.
Yeah, even that. Like,
then you got to spend another $20 to get online pass. It's ridiculous.
All right, then. Well, Lex, you want to take our next one?
Yes, actually, I'm very happy to take this one. One of my favorite fighting games of all time, Soul Calibur 2 HD. Online hits Xbox 360 and the PS3 November 20th. Woo! Oh, yeah. And it gets even better. It's only going to be $20 because Microsoft finally realized, hey, what's this point stuff? Why don't we just use money? And it's only $20, plus you get Spawn and Hayachi in the game as well.
Nice. I always wanted to play the Spawn version, but since I had
it's actually pretty cool. Yeah. He's way too beast with the axe.
I've never played Spawn either. I've only played the Heihachi and Link on the GameCube.
Yeah, it's still no Link. Oh well.
Yeah, because I thought they were talking about potentially doing a Wii U version, but yep, that's not happening.
Sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean...
Yeah, that's not happening. Yeah. What I love about
Link's lurking in a corner somewhere going, they forgot about me.
What I love about the Soul Calibur franchise is like the narrator who says like the most ridiculous shit ever. Like, the soul burns inside him. Like, he sounds like some damn random ass like Ultimate Warrior like old school promos where he would just say he just say the most random shit. Like Hulk Hogan, like the fucking like, it's just ridiculous. But yeah, Soul Calibur 2 was actually the first Soul Calibur that I played. I played it, like I said, on the PS2 and the GameCube. I never played the third one. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, wasn't the first one exclusive to Dreamcast?
Yeah. In terms of, the ports, it was exclusive to Dreamcast and, of course, the arcade. 3, I never played for whatever reason. I guess I just completely looked over that one. I played 4, which had the Star Wars characters, and I thought it was pretty cool. I never played 5, which had Ezio. So I've played some here and there, and Soul Calibur 2 is definitely one of the best.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. My favorite too. I
because
played
it wasn't
them all.
Overcomplicated,
Yeah. Did you ever play the PSP one, Broken Destiny?
No, I never played that. That one had Kratos too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I want to play that just to see how Kratos handles. Huge God of War fan, but it's probably
I don't want to disappoint you, but I believe it was offered on PlayStation Plus 1 month.
I think I might have downloaded that actually. I gotta check. I might hop into like they gotta fix that. This is random, but I know we did our thing earlier about like what we want to see next gen.
Yep.
But they gotta fix the way that you could just log in and see what games you already downloaded for PlayStation Plus, because you gotta do this like really fucking elaborate like account management, and then you gotta put in your password, and then you gotta go to your download list, and then you gotta scroll through 300 fucking items.
Well, you don't have to put in your password to see that.
Well, I guess if you go to account management or whatever, but
yeah,
it's kind of annoying because I know some games do show up like still you can see, oh, you get Uncharted and Gravity, was it Gravity Rush?
Yep.
all the games, but then some games you don't see that you download it. So I've downloaded a bunch of games and I don't even remember. So I might have downloaded that one. I gotta check that out later.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to our last story here, Israel.
So the last story we have here is Minecraft is adding Twitch streaming integration so people could do Let's Plays much easier.
Yes!
Which is cool. I like when developers add things like this. So just making it easier for the fans of the game. And Notch has been, really good with this when it comes to Minecraft. He lets people do all these Let's Plays and all these parody videos, and which I know of, trust me, because my brother plays them all day long, like all these famous songs that they redo in Minecraft with Minecraft lyrics. It drives me nuts. But but yeah, it's cool that we see them integrating this into Twitch, so it'll make it easier for people who like to stream Minecraft.
Yeah, it definitely makes me happy because now I don't have to prepare in advance to make a Minecraft video. I can just stream something.
Yeah, that's cool. You don't have to jump and I have to be, on Twitch and this and that. It's just a simple, I guess, maybe not a simple button press, but close to that.
Yeah, and I don't need anything like XSplit or something like that.
You need these other programs to stream it.
I mean, I tried that for a little while. Granted, I was on a bad internet connection at the time. It might be better now, but subscribing to XSplit and, it's kind of annoying. Definitely looking forward to the Minecraft Twitch streaming. You, Lech?
I never used Twitch, but I have been checking it out. If I ever get some more free time, I'll probably check it out. But yeah, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about the PS4 and Xbox One, how they're, taking this more seriously, where you can actually capture the footage right then and there and edit it yourself and put it up. I mean, it's the best form of marketing.
I think especially these different console manufacturers, I think they're finally getting it, that it is, like you said, marketing. Like, it's promotional, footage for them. Like, even if you put monetization, like, for example, on YouTube, you're still getting people checking that out, and maybe people are like, oh, that looks cool, I want to get it and try to do what that guy's doing. Like my brother, for example, he watches all these like Minecraft videos, and he got Minecraft because of it, because he really enjoys the game. So it's like a cool promotional tool for them, that it's not like they're directly paying you. And I think it's cool. And like you were saying, how these new consoles are implementing it. I created like a Twitch and Ustream in advance, because I plan to use it on the PlayStation 4. Hopefully, if it works, and I'm sure it's not going to work like day one, but eventually, once they get the things straightened out, I want to try it. And that's because I don't have the greatest computer. I just have a basic laptop, and running all these things is kind of intensive on the computer, and you have to have all these programs open. It's kind of complicated. So making it easy for the consumer to just stream games, and I'll probably do that myself. Maybe stream some Killzone, maybe stream some NAC. And what's cool is now with that camera, which I think they should be doing a better job, like advertising it, that with the camera you could have your game playing, and on the side you could be doing like a commentary over it, which I think is pretty cool for the PS4.
Yeah. All right, then. Well, that brings us to the end of our news stories this week. So let's go straight into our been playing, been watching, and been reading section. I'll kick us off on the been playing because mine will be short and sweet. First and foremost, I finished up Puppeteer this past week, and yeah, I have to say, I really enjoyed that game. And I hate myself for not including it on my top 50 list, but yeah. Just a wonderful little story from that game, and it was good. It was good. And secondly, on the Steam Halloween sale, I picked up Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons.
Oh, I want to play that.
I started it not very far right now, so I haven't got a great deal to say, but it's interesting. They do talk in the same language as The Sims, I believe.
Oh, God.
But pretty much. But yeah, control-wise, it's very interesting, a little bit awkward at the same time, because you have one analog stick controlling one character and the other analog stick controlling the other character, and the triggers actually perform their actions. It's different, to say the very least, but so far so good. What about you, Israel?
So the only game that I played over this past week, which I don't know, for whatever reason, I just wasn't in the mood to game that much this week, was Batman Arkham Origins, which I originally wasn't going to purchase because I wasn't that excited for it. And then I started watching some footage and, some gameplay, and I was like, hey, this looks pretty cool. I'm going to check it out. So I bought it last weekend. I played it for about 2 hours, and I really couldn't get into it for whatever reason. And I loved Arkham Asylum. I loved Arkham City. They're the best comic book adaptations in video games. For whatever reason, I just couldn't get into this. And I don't know if maybe it was just too similar to Arkham City, and it reuses a lot of the same map sections, but I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. I'm gonna give it another shot, but what kind of pissed me off is like a buddy of mine. He pretty much spoiled like a major plot point in the game. That's something that so good that it probably could have redeemed the game for me later on in the game. And he was like, hey, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, why would you tell me that? And because I had told him, hey, I stopped playing the game. I just wasn't feeling it. And that happens sometimes. You play a game, you don't feel it, pick it up back later, and you're like, oh, this is great. So I'm kind of pissed that happened. So and he spoiled some really good details about the game. And not only did he spoil it, he was like, hey, this happens, and then I'm like, shut up, and then he continues to tell me, like, in the context of the game, how it happened. I'm like, dude, like, what the hell are you doing? So I got so
that's
mad.
when a folding chair comes in handy.
Like, I got so mad, I blocked his number. I was like, phone number blocked. I blocked his number. I was furious. This happened earlier today. Like, I was really mad. But anyway, it's not a bad game. Like, I know the review scores have been all over the place, and it's it has a good foundation. Like, the fighting mechanics are really good, just like they were in Arkham Asylum and Arkham Origins in terms of the flow of the combat, etc. But I just couldn't get into it. But I'll probably try it in a couple weeks, probably after the next-gen consoles release. But it's not a bad game. It's good. It's just I guess I just wasn't in the mood for it at the time.
I can understand that.
Yeah. All right, Lech, what about yourself?
Midnight release, Battlefield 4.
Should have known.
It's been a rough couple weeks, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I deserve it. And honestly, I got to say, I am pleasantly surprised.
Nice.
There's just so much going on in the game now. Everything from guns handle better. I mean, there's still a few things that need to patch up. Like some weapons are way too overpowered. And this one is the submachine guns. They just do an insane amount of damage for no matter what range they are. Which is, in a shooting game, that's not good. When you're on one side of the map and you're being shot with a submachine gun and it's killing you in 2 or 3 hits.
Yeah, the ballistics are off.
Yeah, it's a little off. I mean, one thing that I've discovered is easier to be a sniper now. Like, hell, all my progression so far, I'm level 11. I've been playing it a lot, but not too much. And it's all been sniper, recon class. Because this time around, the recons are the one with the C4, which means you can blow up tanks. Which I do. It's always so funny in these games. You're running after a tank, and the tank is running from you. And you're just a little like, get back here!
Did you get this on PS3 or PC?
360.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, My 360 was a gift,
Mm-hmm.
so there's
Hey,
never
when you
really.
when you get your PS4, you can just upgrade.
Yep. For I think what they say, $10.
Yep.
Yep.
You really can't argue with that. And I got the premium too,
Mm-hmm.
which was a little more money than I should have spent, but fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm set. I got a bunch of cool stuff because of it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's actually it's a very good game. It's still a little buggy here and there, but
Mm-hmm.
first week of a new game, especially one with a heavy online
Mm-hmm.
as this one has, you're going to see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we all remember the Battlefield 3 glitches that
This-
appeared.
The turtle man, the spaghetti monsters, the bodies just ragdolling out of control, then flying off into the sky, which happens quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you mention like glitches, I forgot to mention, which I talked about earlier, like that I was gonna mention it, that in Arkham Origins I had a really bad glitch that like froze my Xbox, and this hasn't happened to me before. Like a game like this, like maybe an online game, but not even then. I was just playing it. I went into the menus. I was upgrading some of my equipment, and then my shit just froze, and I had to completely restart it. So I guess that kind of turned me off too. And especially since I might not have been in the mood to play it, it just worsened the situation
Mm-hmm.
because it kind of ticked me off. And I've heard other people have issues on PS3 and PC, and that they're trying to do a patch. But that's another situation where a game they release and it's like I can understand maybe a glitch in the environment, but when the game completely freezes and crashes, that's a different situation. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually happened with me a few times too,
mm-hmm.
especially with online. Like it'll crash. When it does crash, it's always when the match is getting ready to start.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
After you just finish one and it's going through all your ribbons and everything. And it always crashes there, never during the actual gameplay. So I'll give it credit there.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right then. So who wants to kick off the bin watching part?
Hmm.
I would actually have to go to the movies to do that. So that would not be me.
Yeah, I guess I'll do it. In terms of what I've been watching, I don't know if you guys know James Rolfe, like the angry video game nerd.
Mm-hmm.
He does these videos every October called Monster Madness on his Cinemassacre website.
Yeah.
They're so well made, and he just reviews like a bunch of horror movies. They're usually like classic horror movies. And this year he went over like the Alien franchise and Night of the Living Dead franchise. They were very well done reviews. So I just been watching a bunch of those because I had him keeping up with them with like the daily releases that he does. So a couple days actually, I just sat down and watched a whole bunch of the reviews, and they're really good. He actually did for Halloween. He did like a whole commentary for the Night of the Living Dead, which I actually have to finish. I watched about half an hour of it, but I just really enjoy what he does with Cinemassacre and those Monster Madness reviews. He probably sometimes I actually think I like it more than the Angry Video Game Nerd because it like exposes you to like these new films. Like before, like I wasn't really into like the Universal like movie monsters, and he goes over a lot of those, and it's just like a very good history lesson. Like you learn a lot through his reviews. It's not like him crapping on a game like Angry Video Game Nerd. It's just like a history lesson. It gives you appreciation for all these films. And I've gone back and I've watched like the original Nosferatu and like the original King Kong, which is one of my favorite films from 1933. So it's just like, I know this is a gaming podcast, but it's just great that you can learn about all these movies through these reviews. And then you go out and watch them and you're like, hey, this is a great movie that I didn't know about before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if anything, even if you have seen them before, it gives you a new light to look at them.
Yeah. It gives you a new appreciation because you're like, wow, this came out at this time period and they use this for the special effects. And, it was in this context, what was going on in society at the time. It's just very well made. I really appreciate the things he does on his website with Monster Madness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Plus, it also shows you that his first passion obviously was movie making.
Yeah, and that's what led him into the whole character, which I kind of feel he's like kind of stuck with at this point because it
Yeah.
became more successful than he originally imagined. Like it was just I think when he started, these were things that were just on tapes that he recorded one day, and he just thought it was funny himself, and then he put them online, and it kind of exploded. And then it made him like be stuck. I gotta release these every month or every couple months. He's working on the final touches for the movie now. So, which it kind of sucks because you could really see he has such a great passion for movies and filmmaking, and that's like you were saying, that's his true passion.
Yeah, and now he's stuck as his character.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, he's very popular.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell, him both and the Nostalgia Critic were a couple months ago. There's two characters representing them in a Japanese anime.
Oh, really?
Like you looked at them and you could tell it was them.
Wow.
That's hilarious.
The angry video game nerd and the Nostalgia Critic reacting to a sword fight going on.
What happened to the Nostalgia Critic? He just stopped making videos, right?
He retired the character for a while, but he's doing it again. If you go to his website, okay. That guy with the glasses, it's really taking off. I mean, the quality of their stuff is getting better. He's got so many different types of reviewers now.
Cool.
Yeah, because I used to watch like a lot of his videos back in the day, and then he went on that hiatus, and I was like, oh, he's done with the character, and then I didn't know he was back at it. So I enjoyed his stuff. It was pretty funny. It was like, and especially when he did that crossover with an angry video game. those are pretty damn funny. But yeah, it's cool. And he's another one. He gives you like an appreciation for these films, even if he's like, making fun of them.
All right. Well, as for myself, this past week, I actually saw 2 movies, both very, very different from one another. The first one was Bad Grandpa, which, at its core, it is a jackass movie with an actual storyline.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you heard me right. It's a jackass movie with a storyline, which made it really damn good, to be honest with you. I went into that movie with very, very low expectations. I knew there were going to be some great laughs into it, but I didn't really expect anything, and yet the story was actually kind of heartwarming near the end.
That's really surprising.
Yeah.
I believe at the end I was almost laughing and crying at the same time. It was just that good.
I was about to watch that last weekend, but then I was like, I'll watch it some other time.
I would kind of recommend it, actually. It is pretty damn good. The other movie that I saw just last night, actually, was Ender's Game, the movie based off of the novel of the same name. And the novel is probably my favorite book of all time. I saw the movie. I'm kind of pleased with how it turned out. They did leave out a lot of things, and they fast-tracked quite a bit, but overall, yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was really well done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, they did take away a lot that made the book a lot more impactful, but that key storyline of Ender was still there, and by the end of the movie, yeah, it still hit you kind of hard.
That's a movie like that should.
Yep. It's really one of the more, like the book was, it is a thought-provoking sci-fi epic, pretty much. Even though the writer is a complete jackass in real life, the book and the movie are really, really well done, and yeah. So take it from a fan of the book's perspective. It's pretty damn good. And I saw it with a friend who hadn't read the book, and he loved it as well. So plus,
Yeah, I haven't read the book, but I'm interested to see the film.
hmm plus it has Harrison Ford back in space again.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
Well, that's all for me in the bin watching. I'm assuming nobody's read anything.
Mm.
Outside of stuff on the internet, not really for me.
No.
Yeah, nothing for me either. Which leads us straight into our shameless self-promotion section. And Lech, you want to get started?
Fuck. I think I pretty much covered it earlier when I said I'm still trying to get the stuff together for a Resident Evil fan film I'm working on. I'm still working on the script for it. I got basic ideas. I do things a bit ass backwards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll get the props first, and then I'll do the story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I do stuff like that. I just do. I'm weird that way. But yeah, that's the only thing I really got.
Cool beans. Isreal?
I don't have anything right now, and I kind of went like on a hiatus, and then like my main YouTube channel, I just like erased everything off it because I'm doing a separate channel, Project PlayStation, which I mentioned on the last podcast, I believe.
Yep.
And it's just gonna focus on Sony and the PlayStation brand. I'm not only gonna talk about games, but I'm gonna talk about consoles and like collectibles, like art books, statues, figures, different things related to the PlayStation brand. I don't know exactly when I'll start that up. I'm waiting to get because I use a stupid iPhone camera to record all my footage, so I'm waiting to get like this tripod stand so I don't have to use my damn hampers, stacking them on top of each other like ghetto style and putting the camera up there. So I'm gonna try to get like a tripod and a clip for the iPhone camera so I can move things around easier. So I'll probably be back either on like launch day for the PS4 or before that, because I know the DualShock controllers are already available, and I want to get one of those pretty soon, and an extra one, and just like unbox it and my initial impressions of, hey, it feels good or whatever. That's what she said, but yeah. So you can follow me. I have a new Twitter account too. Like I erased my old one. Like I don't know. I'm going nuts. It's at Project PSX, and it's the same for the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Project PSX. And I'm sure I'll do a video on my old channel, like directing people to the new channel if they want to check it out or whatever.
Cool. We're looking forward to it.
Thanks.
As for myself, I haven't got much to mention, though it is now November, and my new upload schedule will start on Monday. And I haven't really said anything about it yet, but hell, why not? This is a podcast. Might as well announce what's coming. Mondays will involve Minecraft as per usual. I have a new build that I will be showing off on Monday. Tuesdays and Thursdays will have videos for Guacamelee Gold Edition and Dust an Elysian Tale going up. Nothing on Wednesdays as of yet. Fridays, I have only mentioned before that I'm doing a new retro series for Fridays, but that retro series will be The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
Oh, good game.
Which I haven't played in about 10 years, so that's going to be fun! And as far as the weekend goes, Saturdays, Sundays, random videos and the podcast as per usual, going up either Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, whenever it gets done. So yeah, that's the new upload schedule that will be starting on Monday. And just to make two little side notes, please go check out my top 50 PlayStation 3 games list, and Ride to Hell Retribution if you want to suffer along with me.
I gotta check that out.
Yes. Based on that image alone.
Oh man.
That's going to be haunting my dreams for a while.
I have to
You're
watch
welcome.
it. I have to, especially after that image. I was like, oh man, this looks hilarious.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for me right now. And as per usual, you can check us all out on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
All right.
Even though I really don't use mine, but hey, it's still there.
All right, so as per usual, guys, you can leave us questions and comments about this podcast, comment about anything that we talked about, anything that we forgot to mention and you want to jam down our throats, questions about anything really, as long as they're, well-written, real questions, like the 3 that Lech answered at the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ask us questions and comments, you can win a free game, which I gave away a couple last week.
I forgot to get back to you with that one. I just remembered. My bad.
Well, just so you know, Killing Floor and Saints Row the Third are both gone.
Okay, that's fine.
All right,
Yeah.
so yeah, you can possibly win free games. And right now I'm going to keep it as a mystery of what games there are available, mostly because I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But I do have quite a few codes for both Steam and Origin available.
I'm sure the
And
next
we
question.
will answer them. Maybe a week late, but they will be answered.
The next question is gonna be like, "Why you guys hate Titanfall so much?" Like, nah, we don't hate it. I'm sure it's gonna be fun. I'll probably pick it up, but I actually don't know as of right now when I'm gonna get an Xbox One. Like it seems this generation is gonna be, even like my third party games are gonna be on PS4.
Yeah.
So Xbox One is gonna be relegated to exclusives. So, yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna get it. Maybe the next Halo. I don't know. Maybe something impressive comes out. The game, what was that studio? The people who did Max Payne and Alan Wake. Remedy, is it?
Yeah.
Like what's it called? The Quantic
Break?
Yeah, that one looks interesting. That one has me, intrigued to see what it is. But we'll see.
All right, so yeah, you can do that, guys. Win free games. So that brings us to the end of our podcast, which was not shorter than what we expected.
Not even close.
Yeah, but that's what happens on the CanUK podcast. We ramble and have fun. So, yeah, since we're at the end, Lech, would you do us the honors?
Sure. On behalf of Isreal and Lord X, I would like to personally thank each and every one of you for listening to this week's version of the CanUK podcast. Tune in next time when you'll hear Isreal say,
Hulk Hogan!
Oh my god, I should have done that in like Ultimate Warrior promo. I really should have.
The next, I'm taking
Next
the next
time,
podcast.
next Ultimate Warrior promo, I promise.
Yeah, we gotta do that.
Oh, I'll freak out everybody in my house. Fuck you doing back? Nothing.
Oh man.
But yes, on a serious note, thank you one and all. Without you guys doing, showing up for us, we're pretty much nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So tune in next time.
Goodbye, everybody.